Hi, everybody. Welcome to the June 2019 Q&A for $20 and up patrons. We have some questions to get to, and thank you to all the allies who joined me for this. Our first question comes in from Alexander, who says, "Hello, allies. First of all, I want to thank Damiani for demanding trial by combat. Such qualities as being smart and being cautious are often underpraised, so I'm grateful that Damiani stood his ground and fought for everyone who separate hype and bets. Now to my question. E3 is the time when you reach a new audience. Sometimes newcomers make some interesting comments that only first-timers can make. Do you have any favorites? And if so, what are they? I really like the tall guy needs to eat more."
But the funny thing is how common they are. The completely different people will come in and say an exact same comment, like, "Get that guy a sandwich, get that guy a hamburger. That guy looks like the Crypt Keeper."
Right. See, to me, that just sounds annoying, Blood. Like, that doesn't...
It doesn't happen that often, but there's definitely, like, waves of it. Like when he's saying, on the new people come in, and it's like, there it is.
Sure.
But yeah, is this the game trailers guy is easily my favorite.
Is this... Blood, that's what I was going to say. Number one. Yeah. Is this the game trailers guy? Or the people who think that everybody does... Brandon does all the reviews. That's also good.
Great review, Brandon.
Yeah.
At this point, I think now they're joking, but yeah.
Yeah, the Brandon doing all the reviews is definitely a joke at this point. Yeah.
I don't know. That's giving people a lot of credit.
I like it when people misspell our names. I see a lot of Huber as Hubert.
Yes.
Yeah, they put a T on there a lot.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I like that.
I like the T. Yep, it's a good one.
I feel like I've seen people misspell Bosman before, like as Boss Man.
It's a good misspelling, though.
Yeah, for sure.
Can't hate.
The big boss man.
Any other ones we got?
Most of them are mean.
Yeah, most of them are mean. The new ones.
Yeah. Well, for Ian, yeah.
Oh, all the ones for me are mean, but like
is that guy's nails painted?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's a shirt idea. Most of them are mean.
That's a good shirt idea.
Is it?
Depending on the type of
mood. Just Ian wearing a shirt that says, "Yes, my nails are painted."
I did make a shirt that said at Kyle, I think this was your idea, a shirt that just said, "Please write comments about me."
Do you wear that shirt ever? I don't think I've seen that one in a long time.
Threw it away.
Okay.
I think that's so funny. I want that shirt. Please write comments about me. You're playing into what I desire. And they're like, "What do I do?
What do I do?
What?
I want to tell this gay guy to KYS, but he wants me to.
I'm defeated." Our next question comes in from Michael, who says, "Hello, Easy Allies. Thanks for the great E3 reaction streams. But now that E3 is over, there isn't much to talk about. There isn't as much talk about East 9 as I'd hoped there'd be. East 9's gameplay trailer is amazing. It contained just about everything I could wish for in the next game in the East series. What do you think about East 9's gameplay trailer? Love and respect."
What?
I didn't know that happened.
Insane, man.
Okay.
Great comment, because I did not know this exists.
I can actually comment on this because I did watch the gameplay trailer, and it does look really cool. You've got some like warp strike action going on. It looks like there's a huge focus on a greater emphasis on mobility. It looks really cool. I think to answer the question on why more people aren't talking about it, it hasn't come over in Japan, and it'll be a while before it comes out in English-speaking countries. So I think it's just proximity. I think once we get closer, more people talk about it. But also, East is just not that well known, too. So, yeah.
It's always been this weird thing. Like, even back in the 90s, like, I hear about it, but I didn't know anyone that actually played it.
Right.
You can run up walls. You can run up a cathedral. This does look really cool.
Yeah. That mobility, man. I'm telling you.
Ben, I remember you selling me on Ease 8 really hard.
Yeah, it's still good. What's nice, Huber, is Ease 8 is one of those games that now, even long after the fact, all the people will be like, "Oh, hey, I remember you said you liked this, and I played it, and it is really good. And so it's the gift that keeps on giving. So yeah, Ys 8. It's out on a lot of things. It's out on PS4, Switch, PC. It's good. Kyle, I really think you would like Ys 8, but there's a ton of things to play. Kyle, have you been playing Mario Maker 2?
Yeah, baby.
Yeah. I haven't made a course yet. I need to.
I played all the story levels, and it gets hard, dude.
Yeah, the like 300 coin ones can get a little tricky, and some of them are really creative.
I got to do that still.
I didn't like the story mode as much as I hoped, but that's
I mean, it's just like a glorified tutorial, right? I
it's
haven't
just
tried it yet.
it's just like a collection of levels that kind of go over like, hey, here's what you can do with all of our stuff,
Right.
and they just keep applying that tool set in different ways.
It's a cute idea anyway, I think.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
good.
I mean, some of them are like legit good. I mean, all right, discussion for another day.
Yeah, right.
Ys 9 looks really cool.
Yes, yeah.
I just watched the whole gameplay thing of it. Looks really cool.
Our next question comes in from Michelle. Hey, allies. With construction on Universal's Nintendo theme park underway and very few details about it revealed, I can't help but wonder what franchises outside of Mario will be featured. What Nintendo properties would you like to see in theme park form?
Zelda.
What was that, Ian?
Zelda.
Zelda, yeah. I was gonna say some kind of like Donkey Kong barrel.
Donkey Kong's Treehouse.
Yeah, like a treehouse.
I think
It'll be a
that's
little roller
like,
coaster.
guaranteed.
Banana Smoothie Shack.
You know they're gonna have like a little Animal Crossing like town, right?
Oh, we need the Donkey Kong minecart ride, man.
Oh,
yes.
That's what you need.
Yeah.
Bloodworth, dude. Yes.
I know you said no Mario, but I would love a Luigi's Mansion.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Baby. Universal needs a good haunted mansion too.
They
Damn.
do, yeah. So like Luigi's their way in.
Oh,
I want Metroid represented in theme park form because that would just be the sickest shit ever. And I want when you're like you go into the ride like you're waiting in line forever, but then you go and then you go down the elevator and it's just they model it like they do in like Super Metroid, or you could do like Metroid Prime as well. And I don't know, I just think it'd be really cool.
you know it'll be like a Buzz Lightyear like shoot the aliens thing though.
I would hope it wouldn't be that. That stuff's
Yeah.
all right, but a roller coaster, even if it was just like haunted, and you just had Metroids coming out after you, that'd be really cool. You know what it could be? You know how you were like, "Hey, blast the aliens." What if you had like an ice beam, but you weren't like locked in a cart? Like you went through a maze, and you'd have to blast them as they came at you.
Like
Whoa.
laser tag, but like more focused.
Right.
Dude, yes.
Universal kind of does stuff like that too.
How
Oh.
cool would it be if they're like the beginning of the line separates to left and right, and if you go right, it's a dead end, and it's just a bunch of people all going at a dead end in the right line, and then they all end up going left.
What if you go to the right though, and it's
Yeah.
just like you get a coupon, and it's just like energy tank, and it's like 20% off the session.
No,
just a
if you
guy
what if you go to the right, but the real way to do it is to curl up into a ball and go through a vent?
Just-
Oh my god.
They just drop into the ride and just ready to go. Yeah.
And you just like hear people at the front. I have to get into a ball. Yeah, that's good stuff. But represent all of it, man. As much Nintendo as you can throw at me.
And throughout the whole park, you can catch Pokemon.
Yeah. Well, with
But
Pokemon
like
Go,
for real. With balls.
all right.
What's happening?
After your pure leave is so funny because the camera was still focused on you the whole time. It didn't move off.
Oh,
So you're like with balls the whole time.
Our next question comes in from Christian, who says, "Good tidings, gentlemen. I trust you're all doing well. So I figured, why not offer a spotlight onto the unsung heroes within our community who dedicated their profession to draw out the potential from within ourselves. My question for this month: are there any teachers in your lives that stand out as being inspirational, and how do you reflect on their pearls of wisdom that broaden your outlook on life?
Whoa.
Deep.
Teachers?
Yeah.
I had a middle school teacher named Mr. Levy. And in middle school, you have these teachers for 2 years. So not just one. So like the first year I got into like so much trouble, like always getting sent to the office, just like general disruption. You know, I was very like disruptive, like I am. And then like the next year, we just started getting along, and he just started like dropping just like life advice all the time. So like every few years I try to like go back and like check in and just say, hey.
Wow, cool.
Yeah.
There was a professor I had freshman year of college, and I started the beginning of, or no, I think it was actually sophomore year. Excuse me. I started out as pre-med, and then I went into programming, computer science, and I just didn't like any of it. Whoa. And I was just feeling like very lost. And I wanted to write, but I didn't think writing would be sustainable. And so I was like feeling this conflict between what I wanted to do and like what I thought I could do. And I just went and I talked to a professor. It was a journalism professor. And he was just like, he was really nice and listened to this sophomore just like try to deal with his life. And he was like, hey, it's all right if you go down a path in life and you say no. Like that's the whole point. Like you have to explore, and sometimes you're going to really invest in something and the answer is going to be no. And it just really helped me. Like from that day on, I didn't have the problems that I was having in the same way. So it's really good. College was awesome. I was like excited to learn. Yeah, go ahead, Bud.
Yeah, I mean, I guess in high school, I would think that my freshman year of high school, there was a teacher named Mrs. Dean who really helped. Like, not only like was she very encouraging with my writing and everything, but she also like really open to me being weird and stuff. And so, she was teaching us about opera, and like we went to Opera House as a like field trip, and then I like recorded the Final Fantasy VI opera like on a VHS tape and let her see that as well as the ending of the game. And then I also got to like interview her because she had like a pet iguana or something. So like when I just first started the newspaper, like I did this thing about everyone's pets, and so yeah, she was open for me to interview her about her crazy iguana. But yeah, there's not like a specific story, just someone that I very much remember being encouraging all the way through.
Cool. Any other teachers?
Well, shout out to Maida.
Shout out.
Shout out. Yeah, I mean, for me, like teachers, specifically teachers, I think everybody, is a teacher in a certain regard if you're listening. But like, the teachers I liked were the ones that like treated me like a grown up or whatever. Like, because I was like Huber, I'd get sent to the principal's office like weekly, just because like I think I was like just not having fun. And yeah, like some teachers who got that were like, my favorites, because like they would just like joke along with me instead of like getting mad,
right?
Which was good. Yeah, but I can't think of any like sterling pearls of wisdom in like a sentence that were just like, wah! From a therapist I had one good one, but like, yeah, not from a teacher, though a therapist is a kind of teacher. But yeah, teachers, dope.
Teachers. Christian also says, hoping for some jolly shout outs with this question. I also wish to extend my deepest and warmest feelings to the newest addition to the lives of Brandon and Amanda, to little Milo. I'm sure in your own ethereal way, you felt the outpouring of love from all reaches of the world. You're going to be 10 out of 10, little guy. We can feel the hype.
Noise.
Next question is from Brandon, who says, I was lucky enough to attend E3 again this year. I was so happy I got to meet Ben, Ian again, Bloodworth, and Brandon again this year. You guys are so awesome and always a blast. Also, this year was pretty special because my dad was free and attended E3 with me. That's pretty cool.
I remember, yeah, that was cool.
He pretty much was the reason I got into video games, but he hasn't played much over the last 15 years, so having him attend with me and have a really good time made me feel so joyous. So that got me thinking, have any of the allies had any special video game related moments with someone who doesn't really partake in the medium all that much? As always, keep up the good work.
You know what's funny? I was thinking about like if I took 15 years off of video games, in 2004, and then walked into E3, I'd be like, it's all the same. You know what I mean? You're like, oh man, like it'd be so different, and it's not. It's like, oh, it's all the same. It's like you didn't miss a thing.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah, it just like looks better.
Sorry. Yeah.
But like in your memory, that's what games looked like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
But then you'd think like, dude, Sony like went out of business, man. Dreamcast.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Like,
Too bad about the PlayStation.
Microsoft and Nintendo like teamed up.
Thinking Sony went out of business is very funny. Like, oh man, I used to love the PlayStation.
Too bad.
I mean, Beth really doesn't. Beth never plays video games, so like anytime she's like super interested in a game, it's fun.
My dad does not play video games, and I've mentioned this before, but like every so often, I think about we used to play adventure games together when I was very, very young, and we played Full Throttle together, and that game is a gem. And just like seeing, like my dad gets so excited about it. Like there's this scene where there's this barkeep, and he's got this nose ring, and you're trying to get information. He's being a real jerk about it. And you go and you grab the barkeep's nose ring and you like slam it down on the bar. And I just remember like us being like, whoa, I can't. It was like where everything in video games was exciting. It was that kind of time. And just doing like the 5-finger fillet where you have the knife and you're like trying not to stab one of your fingers. We both like enjoyed that game equally. And I wish we could still do that with each other. Because he's like intimidated by controllers. He doesn't like controllers. So we got to find a way to get around that. Any other moments? Kyle, I know your mom, like Kyle's mom stories have been highlights.
Yeah, she slowed down. She hasn't used the PS4 in a while. But yeah, it was really fun to like, she still talks about like Journey and Edith Finch from time to time, which is funny. Nice. I was thinking about like maybe in college when like we would use the whole I always forget the name of it. You know, this shared space with a TV and furniture in it. We would use that for Halo. And a couple of the women who like don't play video games felt excluded, right? So we're like, yeah, you can play Halo with us. It was Halo 2, I think. Oh yeah, because you could just plug into the Ethernet there, and if for some reason we would all be land up in the entire dorm. It was the sickest thing. And just them having the most miserable time trying to move around and looking like they'd be stuck in a corner and looking up and going in circles. Eventually, like they learned to love Mario Kart and get really good at it. So it's just about finding that right game. Mario Kart Double Dash was the one. It's all the same. You love Double Dash. You walk into E3 2019. It's like it's all the same.
I thought they would have had Triple Dash at this point.
Triple Dash. I mean, yeah, I would play like Diablo 3 or Myst and stuff like that with my dad. It was always a highlight, good memory. But yeah, anytime someone that gets into a game that you wouldn't expect. Playing Stronghold with my sister was always a highlight. We would LAN party at the house, and we would all play Stronghold Crusader with each other. Yeah.
Our next question comes in from Mike Hook, who says, "Good afternoon, allies. I've gotten myself back into Breath of the Wild, and I've become obsessed recently with Zelda lore. I've been finding myself reading wikis and watching YouTube videos at 3 a.m.
Okay.
I want to know and play everything I've missed. Damiani, could you please grace us with a Zelda tale? Any story you wish to share?
Oh, well,
Wow.
That you feel the group may not be aware of. You can also go into the realm of fan theories you feel strongly about. If Damiani is not there, then let's do the top 3 links.
What? We don't get to answer the question Damiani would have?
Yeah,
Are we not qualified?
No, I feel pretty slighted.
Okay. I mean, if you want Damiani to talk about Final Fantasy XIV, you have hours of footage of that. But I guess he's Zelda guy.
Zelda
Okay.
lore.
Best
I mean,
3
it's
links:
funny
Wind
because
Waker
I-
link, Skyward Sword link, Breath of the Wild
Breath
link.
of
There you go. The best
That's the
3
one link
links.
that's, you know.
Yep. Next question, I guess.
Wait, do you all like any other links beside those?
I really like Link's Awakening link, but I don't know if I just like the situation that he's in. Like, I don't know if there's anything necessarily inherent to that link that I like.
I like the Twilight Princess
Design-wise.
link
Twilight Princess.
because he gets sad.
I like the Twilight Princess link when he gets his outfit. I think his like farmer outfit's kind of weird.
What?
Does he really get sad?
I guess the game is just sad. Also, like, I realize like all links are kind of. He doesn't talk.
That's
He's
why
just-
Wind Waker link's top notch.
Does he talk?
Hey,
Right, but he's always.
I mean,
just,
they
He's
all go,
just
hey.
more expressive. Like,
Hey!
when he's talking to people, he would emote in a way that past links could not. And so I think that's why people are so attached to Wind Waker Link. I really think Ocarina of Time Link is pretty dope though as well. You get both young and old.
Definitely.
Just like when I look at the Ocarina of Time art to this day, I still just get that oh hell yeah feeling.
Oh,
His ears are
hell
weird.
yeah.
hell yeah!
Oh Link!
Oh
hell yeah.
Oh,
We're going to the future.
I like hurt my neck doing that. Aw.
Link, you're gonna be a big boy.
I think that for Skyward Sword Link, there's a lot of like characterization that's put on him. You know what I mean? Where people are just like, "Hey, you're always this, you're always that." You know, through his relationships, it's more revealed who he is because he actually lived in a place with lots of people who talk to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I like Skyward Sword Link a lot too.
Can we settle on a number 1? I think it would be Wind Waker for me.
It's Wind Waker Link, yeah.
Wind Waker.
Well, that was easy. We will have to wait until our Zelda guy gets back for
Yeah.
the rest of that question.
I think he might agree. There's a good chance he'll agree.
Well, we just don't know about Zelda stories, you know.
Never played Zelda.
Haven't played it.
I mean, thank you for allowing us to even answer the Link question.
Right.
It's very big of you.
Just jokes. All
We're
right.
just kidding. We're just kidding.
Next question comes in from Alex. Greetings, allies. With the remaster coming out soon, I'm looking for a recommendation for the Ni no Kuni Wrath of the White Witch. Never owned a PS3, but I saw a lot of excitement for the second game. When I played it, I was pretty underwhelmed. The game looks gorgeous and the soundtrack was excellent. However, I really felt engaged with the combat. The story was charming, but there wasn't anything that made me care about the world or characters. I quit 20 hours in, so maybe it gets better. Finally, the uneven pacing between spoken dialogue and plain text, yes, pulled me out of so many scenes in the game. I know other allies share these grievances with the game, so I'm wondering if I should still consider getting the remaster of the first game. Are a lot of these problems absent from the first game? Man, it's hard because I haven't played Wrath of the White Witch since it came out, and I played all the way through it, and I really liked it, but I don't. There's been enough time that's elapsed that I feel like less gung-ho about recommending it. The story's very good. The world is very
100% I agree. I finished both Ni no Kunis, and I as time has gone on, I've like lessened on Ni no Kuni for sure.
Yeah.
I heard the first one gets like really slow and boring in the like last third.
Ni no Kuni 1 is a slow game. I don't
Yeah.
think that is unfair to say.
Also,
And-
like, how bonkers of a medium is it where you can give something 20 hours of your life and feel like you may not have given it a fair shake? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's like, extend that to something else. Like, if you gave 20 hours to a TV show,
Yeah,
you would know.
it's like 3 seasons.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you've seen the show.
You've seen the show. It's just like, Man,
I feel like
you're lucky to
etching
get
though.
20 minutes.
If you're getting to like etching or knitting, you got to spend at least 20 hours.
Sure. 10,000 to be an expert.
Yeah.
That's what they say.
Yeah, you spend 20 hours doing improv? Come on, man. Keep at it.
Yeah. You're but a child.
But yeah, I think that's the best way I can answer that question. I really liked Wrath of the White Witch at the time.
Definitely.
But yeah, the combat, so I don't remember like loving the combat, but here's what I will say with the combat. Based on what I played in Ni no Kuni 2 to Ni no Kuni 1, Ni no Kuni 1 definitely has more challenge to it.
Mm-hmm.
There were definitely times where I felt a little bit of a pinch, and that was nice. And I didn't get that during my time with Ni no Kuni 2. Doesn't
1 not have like all those cool party members though?
No, 1 has great party members.
Yeah, 1 has some cool.
But the thing about 1 is it's this pseudo Pokemon system.
Familiars.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're getting and building up familiars.
Whereas like 2, you get to slash with a sword.
Yeah, 2 is more action oriented.
Yeah, 1 is a little more tactical. You're like kind of like sending them out.
Right.
When our Ni no Kuni guy gets back, we can know for sure.
Definitely.
Next question comes in from Varun, I believe. My question is about the treatment of game developers and where you think change can realistically be pushed from. I don't think the general consumer has much of an interest in the treatment of developers. For instance, let's say the next Call of Duty gets another article about it, this time before release. Will that realistically change the sales figures that much? I don't think so. I think most people wouldn't have read the article, and most wouldn't have changed their purchasing decisions because of it either. Review scores are really the main metric that can influence sales. I guess it's trickier for you guys. Your goal as reviewers, I suppose, is to review the experience that you had playing the game. Microtransactions can actually negatively impact your game experience, but developers suffering through crunch might not make the game worse. Therefore, I suppose it wouldn't make much sense to mention it in a review. It's a complicated balancing act to maintain. The lack of game developer unions really restricts the ability to push a unified opinion without being afraid of a backlash from the studios. So where do you think the change can be pushed from? Will it change?
I think it is changing. You go ahead,
slowly. Yeah. The realistic answer, I think, is unions. I was just picturing a world, though, where like games don't get release dates until they're like done. And then then they're like 3 months from now, this is coming out, but like they're done, you know? And like they're doing patches and like it's being submitted for discs and everything. But like that would be kind of interesting. Where it's like we know about games, we never know when they're going to come out until 3 months out, and then it's like, oh, sweet. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, it's just I think about the process for how this stuff works, where people are
unrealistic
releasing builds and then changing those builds based on feedback. Like there's a very important change in direction based on what other people are saying, and then they also change stuff based on how many pre-orders stuff is getting.
True.
It's a whole thing.
Yeah, the one thing I don't quite understand about the way the industry works, though, is like what Ian was saying is why is a release date set for Cyberpunk right now? Like, you know, why does that need? You know, they're working on it. We got an idea when it's going to come, but why set a release date that? You know,
I think it's so we're not expecting it.
What's that?
I think it's so we're not expecting it this year, maybe.
No, man, it's because they announced the release date with the box art, with the limited editions. Like they announced the release date so they could start making money right now.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. The release date is the biggest advertisement for a game you can do.
Sorry, what's up, Blake?
I guess they're getting orders from retailers, but like nobody's collecting your money until the game comes out.
Yeah,
card is charged.
Getting those orders in, baby.
I want to address the first part of this question where this person is like, hey, you know, I don't think most people unfortunately care about this. And you just can't, like, nothing is going to happen if that is like your driving thought. Like you can't be like, oh, well, you know, the average consumer doesn't care about this, therefore we shouldn't push for better stuff. Like, you're not going to get anything done that way, in my opinion. And so the articles that are coming out, the conversations that it's forming, like you have to have some hope. You have to keep pushing.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there's not even going to be a chance of something changing.
Yeah,
And
like Crunch has never really been in the limelight like this.
Yeah.
You know, it's like so out in the open.
From
my perspective, at least.
I feel a little nasty about this because, like, it is, in the end, it's going to be up to the game developers, right? Like, in LA, writers are unionized. You know what I mean? Like, actors are unionized. And that wasn't because, like, the community was like, actors need a union. This is wrong. You know what I mean? It's because the actors did it. It's because the writers did it. The directors did it. You know what I mean? Like, it's up to them. It's going to be up to the developers. It is actually really, the support they have is more than I think, you know, like people who worked in a factory making canned foods, right? They didn't have a community of people shouting that they need to be unionized. They decided themselves. They worked themselves to unionize. And so, like, that's the way unions form and things like that. And right now, I mean, like, we have complacent developers who are being taken advantage of. And so it's about motivating them. It's about motivating the developers who have jobs now, who are scared of losing their jobs, and convincing them that it will be worth it. But yeah, I mean, like, it's not like on the community. I don't think, you know, we can do what we can, but it's not going to be on us to make the change.
But I have to believe that, or I'd like to believe, I guess I should say, that it has some effect where, like, you have talent, right? And they're moving from studio to studio. If top talent has, like, a range of options, they're probably less likely to pick the place that is like, oh man, if I go here, I'm going to get treated poorly, versus this other place where it's like, oh no, I've heard a lot of good things and they're going to be on my side. Like, just with any, you know, potential employee, everybody's looking at that stuff. Like, it changes the culture. It changes the perspective of the people that are working or applying to those places. I have to imagine it has some effect. And so for those companies, like, you don't want to be the company where no one wants to work for you.
Right. And I think that's one of the things, you know, where, you know, CD Projekt has come out a couple of times talking about they want to be known as this thing. And they've come out, you know, there's been a lot of crossfire and criticism of, like, you know, how they've actually operated and implemented things. But just getting out there and saying, like, hey, we want to change our reputation, you know, like, you know, they've got to be able to get there. And if their reputation changes, then, you know, that's going to be something that has a ripple effect. And the more studios that we see like this, who are like, hey, why am I going to work for you when I can go work for somebody that's going to treat me better?
Right. Any other thoughts? Okay, our next question comes in from KY79. Hello, allies. Lately, I've been thinking about that leaked Harry Potter game from last year and how it's a prequel instead of adapting the main story. And it made me realize there's a severe lack of original video game adaptations, by which I mean video games that adapt the source material directly in their own way without being a tie-in for a movie or a show. We have some that are loosely based on comics, such as Batman and Spider-Man, but not much for books and other similar type of media. Do you think that video games as a medium are viable for these kinds of adaptations, and what properties would you like to see adapted?
Weird to leave out Star Wars, where, like, most of them are. And, like, Star Wars is great. I mean, Star Wars is a huge, awesome universe with, like, a lot of, like, little corners that you can explore. So I think it's, you know, the best immediate example. But yeah, I mean, I love actually the prospect of this Harry Potter game.
And Turtles. Great Turtles games.
Mm-hmm. Non-canon. But they're just playing around in the space, man.
Exactly.
Just playing in the space.
Playing around.
I mean, I think in a lot of cases, the nature of conflict and story, that's really different in games, right? Like, combat system, you need gear, you need all this stuff that doesn't make any sense in a narrative medium most of the time. So it can be a weird thing. Like, there's just a small number of books, especially, that you could adapt into a video game that the mass market is going to be interested in.
Mistborn would be a cool one. Yeah.
I think what I want is, I think there are some genres that kind of, like, hint at characterization and hint at stories. And I would love to see, like, spin-offs that are more focused on those characters and stories. So, like, I would be really into a Street Fighter RPG where it's like, hey, we're gonna this is not a fighting game. It's not as much about the mechanics. It's more about the characters and this world and their relationship. Like just switching genres sometimes to maybe accomplish different things, I think could be really cool.
A game that takes place in the Cowboy Bebop universe would be pretty dope.
There's a Cowboy Bebop game.
What?
Yeah, it's a PS2 game. I've never played it, but
Cooey.
there's a
Yeah, it's like it's the trickiest thing. Like Harry Potter, the franchise itself is big enough to have that space where like you don't need a boy with glasses on the box. But for so many franchises, people would be like, "Hey, where's Big Hero 6?" Like they won't accept it if it doesn't have the character that the franchise is known for. And it is weird because I mean, a lot of franchises are known for their characters. I'm trying to think of like TV shows, movies where the world is a bigger deal than the people on camera.
Right.
It's tricky, man.
Game of Thrones, because the characters and stories don't matter at all.
That's actually a really good one. You could totally make a Game of Thrones game.
I mean, they have.
They have, yeah.
But I mean, like that had like the likenesses and everything. Like you could have a game in that world.
Yeah.
Where you can make your own character and all that.
Just like hanging out in Dorne for some reason.
Yeah.
I want to see a 0 Metacritic user review that just says no Big Hero 6 on something where it like doesn't apply at all.
Where's Big Hero 6?
Where is it?
It's a terrible game and a terrible movie, but the Jumper video game, you play as like a side character from the movie.
What the hell is Jumper?
And I like that. I like that idea. I like when games give you like a side story within a larger
The
universe.
Matrix
like
too.
I was gonna say Enter the Matrix.
And Enter the Matrix.
I just Google searched Jumper, and this looks like the worst movie.
Yeah, it's not good. The ideal was cool, but it's not good.
You nailed it with Riddick, though. Riddick is so good.
Yeah.
The Riddick game is awesome. The
Riddick universe is
coolest way to do it.
Kind of developed, I feel like. I don't know.
Yeah, because there's like games, movies, and the anime. I think that's so awesome. It's all like connected.
Kind of wasn't the question really though about not having a spin-off, about it being a direct adaptation of something, about trying to use video games to tell this same story in a different way.
I was a little confused by the question, actually. I wasn't
not necessarily because we open with Harry Potter blood, and it's not like telling the story about the boy who lived. It's you're on your own person in Hogwarts after the events. Huber, Jumper looks like a really good 7.
Dude, I don't think it's that good, man.
It's not even a 7?
I don't think so.
It's a brawler, dude. Have you played this?
I remember like renting it.
I think we got to stream this.
Easy living, baby.
The meta
is terrible.
IGN gave it a 3.7.
Oh, wow. Dude, we're playing.
This definitely seems like Kyle.
He moves like Noctis, dude.
Can you double jump in Jumper?
It does not appear that you can, blood.
Our next
wall
question.
jump.
Yes, you can port. You can poof poof.
Yo, I have to read. Remember when IGN did or when reviewers did like specific categories?
Yeah.
I got to read this one. Presentation 3. Heads go out of frame in cutscenes. No story explanation.
Wait, just the heads?
More framing.
Yeah.
Can we please play this at Easy Living?
I'll put it on the list.
I already did.
Okay, nice.
Okay. Someone buy.
All right. Our next question comes in from Caesar, who says, different text this month, but still the same topic.
Man, we have consoles left? Here we go.
We got handhelds this month. As I said last month, we are done with home consoles. We are starting with handhelds. You got to get the lore down, Kyle. Mm-hmm. This will be much quicker since I'll be packing up together some of them, since many of the handheld games are ports of their home console counterparts. Just remember the pointers. Multi-platform games count. Don't narrow down. Expand. Mention everything that comes to mind. This month, the Game Boy and Game Boy Color. So I just recently played through Final Fantasy Adventure, and there is some great music in Final Fantasy Adventure. That should be on the list. Link's Awakening has incredible music and should also be on the list. Metro 2 as well.
Serious suggestions: RoboCop, the main theme from RoboCop Game Boy, and level 1 from Jurassic Park Game Boy. You will not be disappointed.
There was when I was a kid, there was a Jurassic Park game that I got on Genesis, and I wanted to love it, but I did not. It just played badly. Wish I could remember the name.
You play that Game Boy Jurassic Park game, and you're just like, it is bad, but you think you're supposed to like it because you love Jurassic Park so much.
Right. And it just seems like it'd be simple.
Yeah.
Kirby's
Dr. Mario, of course.
Dr. Mario. Kirby Dream Land 1 and 2.
They said color as well, right?
Yep.
I haven't played a ton of color games.
Oh, Super Mario Bros. Deluxe. Game Boy Color.
I would guess the Oracles, but I haven't played them in so long. I don't remember any of the songs.
Yeah, the songs
kind of weird to
think
about.
But I'm just gonna say yes for the Oracle games. Tetris totally counts. Yeah.
The Pokemon trading card game.
Oh my God!
Has some really good music, actually.
The Pokemon trading card game, Kyle, has incredible music, and obviously we'd have to do all the Pokemon games.
Yeah. Shout
out to Stage 4 River from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Fall of the Foot Clan.
Ooh, I gotta hear that.
It's dope.
Super Mario Land 1 and 2.
You know what? I love the Super Mario Land music.
Yeah, I do too. I'm with you, man. There's you could do.
Yeah.
I just found this out last night because I was playing a level. There's there's a Super Mario Land Fire Flower that you can pick up, and you could do Super Mario Land music in Mario Maker 2, and he'll do the specific black dot fireball, and it's great. Mario Maker 2. Thank you for letting me do OG.
Yeah,
Super
that
Mario
thing's
Land.
not even called a fireball, right? It's some weird rubber bouncy thing.
And the way this guy designed his level, it was really smart, is because the way the fireball works is it would shoot down and then bounce up, and you'd have to do an obstacle course with the fireball. It was very cool.
I was gonna do that.
I'm sorry, Kyle.
I had all these ideas for that fireball.
You can still do it. It's still cool.
All right.
Oh, the Wario Land games.
Yeah, Wario Land is a good suggestion.
Who's played Donkey Kong? How was the
Donkey
Game Boy
Kong Land?
adaptations of that music?
I played the heck out of the Donkey Kong Land games as a kid. I don't remember the music all that well, but I really loved those games. I loved the Donkey Kong Land games as a kid.
I played and loved the Killer Instinct port on Game Boy, and I could not recommend that music
Really?
at all. Yeah.
Okay.
Just that conversion to Game Boy is rough.
I played MK1 on Game Boy, and the conversion is rough was a good way to describe that. Man, I feel like there's some pretty big ones that we're forgetting.
Yeah, I'm starting to look some stuff up. See what am I missed? This is a giant forum thread.
Okay. Bugs Bunny Crazy Castle.
Oh.
Kyle, I haven't thought about that game since I was a child.
It hit me real hard right there. I think this theme to that is pretty good.
Nice.
There's a bunch on here on somebody listed that I'm not familiar with, so I don't know if anyone can vouch for them, but the Final Fantasy Legend games.
I feel like I've played a little bit of Final Fantasy Legend, but I don't remember anything about it, unfortunately.
Right. Anyone play Contra on Game Boy?
I feel like Pokemon Pinball has good music. Deserves to be mentioned.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised because Metroid Prime Pinball was good, but that was GBA. But the music on that was really good.
All right, Bugs Bunny Crazy Castle music is not good. It's music that gets in my head sometimes, but it's not good.
I feel like the Mega Man Game Boy games had good music.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I think so.
Play Shantae on Game Boy Color?
I didn't play it on Game Boy Color. It was on Wii U Virtual Console or something. But I imagine it's hard to recall music.
Well, especially on some like Game Boy is kind of harder to go back to.
Yeah, you say that, Blood, and I was listening to just on its own the Link's Awakening OST, the forest theme. Like it's so good. It's still amazing on its own outside of a game.
Did we say Castlevania Adventure already?
We did not.
Okay. I mean, that
Dude,
one holds
did
up.
anyone play this?
We haven't played that recently. Sorry, what's up, Blood?
Did anyone play Tomb Raider on Game Boy Color? I don't know much about this game.
There was a Tomb Raider on Game Boy Color. I didn't know
Game
there
Boy
was a Tomb
Color
Raider.
only.
Tomb Raider on Game Boy Color sounds like a rough proposition.
Yeah, there was like Tomb Raider and Turok, and I'm like, there's no way I'd play either of these on a Game Boy. Sorry, buds.
Kyle, did you ever play the Crash Bandicoot Game Boy Advance game?
No. I played the Spyro Game Boy Advance game.
How was that?
Chat told me it was good, and I hated it.
Okay, cool.
Oh, the Dragon Warrior games were ported.
Yeah, Dragon Warrior 1
those
and 2
on NES.
and 3. All right.
But they weren't good.
I think we've got a good handful. Next question comes in from Master Pants. Be it video games or any other cool stuff, what have you been spending your cold hard cash on lately? Food.
Food. New monitor.
My girlfriend's parents came and visited us, and so we just went and took them around, and so that cost money.
I made a really wild, impulsive purchase yesterday. Ill-advised purchase. My PS4 is the thing I use most in my life. It's pretty much on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And I have the Launch Pro, and the noise levels got to an absurd height. So even when I'm playing in my living room at 1 o'clock in the morning, this thing is just out of control noise. Through my headphones even. I'll be able to hear it going crazy. So I finally had enough. I traded it in, got store credit, and bought the newer 7200 unit that is way silent.
Huber, I need to do that because my PS4 Pro is way too loud.
I traded it in a GameStop with a membership. They gave me $225, and then
how much is a new PS4 Pro?
And it's $400. So it cost me $200.
Okay.
To do it, and I just did it
for 1 year. For 1 year of silence.
Well, because I still bust out my PS3 from time to time. I figured all right, I'll just do this now, and then I'll have a newer, better PS4 for the next however long. And I know PS5 is going to be backwards compatible, of course, and
sometimes you got to treat yourself, dude.
Sometimes you got to treat yourself. It's still, I still bust out the PS3 from time to time, not just to play a PS3 game, but to just because it's easier, older, to just move around. And so yeah, kind of a reckless purchase, but again, I just use my PS4 more than anything in life, so thought I'd do it.
It's funny because I still hadn't gotten around to getting a PS4 Pro, and now I'm I'm probably just gonna wait for the 5.
Yeah, I wouldn't bother at this point, Blood.
No.
Our next question comes in from Greg. Greetings, allies. Now that there have been a number of betting specials concluded, what is everyone's favorite bet payoff? I personally still love the dioramas, but the songs about nutrition was also top tier.
That was pretty good.
Maybe it's just because we're in close proximity to it, but I really liked the monologues a lot.
I did too.
Love the monologues. How different they all were, how creative you guys were. It's awesome.
People took it seriously. I was impressed by that.
Yeah. And none of them sucked.
Yep.
Even Blood making up on the spot, I was like, good God, this is amazing.
The hot dog, man.
Stop
so good.
Cut to has the hot dog. Love it, man. It's just Yeah, I definitely feel like
the concert for Brad. That was the same.
Blood's gone. What were you saying, Bossman?
I'm
yeah.
gone.
Yeah,
You
you were gone
froze,
for a
bro.
sec. Concert for Brad, I really like
The
a lot.
concert for Brad, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking that like it's just the EZA era. Like GT, I don't know. We made Huber wear the shirt. Like I don't know if any of them were that good back at game trailers. I think the EZA era are so fun of the payoffs.
I do think the nutrition wraps had like the most community impact, where that's something like people are still referencing constantly.
Because the Meat Boy, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Huber's clarinet concert though needs to be brought up.
Oh yeah.
I don't remember that.
Oh,
like, I know that it
so
happened.
good.
Yeah.
Was it
during
3
the
songs,
year
Huber?
one?
Yeah, 3 songs.
No, that's back at GT. That was back at GT.
I thought, but we just made him do clarinet at year one just because.
Yeah.
Really? You had to break it out?
The live show, right?
The live show we did.
I
first
forgot we made you do
anniversary.
that. That's funny.
Yeah.
Played some Shenmue and some Zelda, maybe.
Yeah.
Our next question comes in from Supernova Smith. Hey, Allies, I'm currently in the market for a new TV, upgrading from 1080p. Wondering what your personal setups are and if any of you are planning to upgrade before next gen arrives. Any OLED users? If so, any burn-in issues? Ian, is the projector secretly the best option? Just looking for your personal opinions and thoughts.
So 8K is going to be a very real thing in the near future. So
early adopter.
I recommend hanging tight. If you have a 4K now, you have a 4K TV now.
He said 1080.
Oh, 1080. Okay, I missed that part. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Ooh. Then Black Friday, man. That's your best bet. It's the only advice I can give.
If you live in America. Omar's got, my roommate's got the LG OLED and it looks really good. I haven't been made aware of any burn-in. It's in his room, so I don't, watch it ever, but he hasn't mentioned it. I do have a projector. We just got a new one, a 1080 one with very little delay. It's pretty okay for video games.
I mean, wouldn't it suck right now? Like your room is so lit up right now.
Yeah, we've got blackout curtains, but it's definitely it's like a lifestyle choice. And Omar and I personally built that giant screen over there, out of
that thing's new.
Big pieces of wood and I ordered that screen canvas and everything. It was a huge project. The downstairs neighbors got really mad at us because we were using an impact drill for part of it. But yeah, it's a whole thing. Can't say I would recommend it because a TV is just always going to look better. But it's pretty dope to have a 12-foot screen.
I upgraded to a Samsung 4K last year, and it's wonderful.
Samsung is my preferred brand of TV.
Samsung is my preferred brand of TV.
Mm-hmm.
And phone.
I have a 24-inch Samsung 1080p monitor, and I think it looks pretty good.
I got the Sony Bravia, and I like it a lot.
And that's 4K too, right, Huber?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember Huber came over was it Resident Evil this year, Huber? And you saw my TV and I felt like I had a SD TV.
I was so mean. I didn't mean to be so mean, Kai.
I felt like I had a straight up just old, the dad has a little, I got a big screen TV. And it was just this big 4x3, the screen looked bad, but it was big and he loved it. That kind of dad TV.
Yeah.
Still has a cathode ray.
End of the year TVs this year are going to be
that's the thing, dude. I'm going to consult you. I'm not going to buy a TV without consulting Huber, and he always tells me to wait, so I'm waiting.
The end of the year this year is going to be a treat. 4K TVs are going to be cheaper than they've ever been. So I recommend waiting.
Okay.
Huber, 8K is realistically 5 years from mattering.
8K, yeah. Well, I just read an article just about the next Xbox and how they're targeting 8K and that's a year and a half away, which is,
targeting but shall miss 8K.
Yeah, so right now they're doing 4K 60 on games that are like at the end of this gen.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think anything's realistically going to do 8K at a consistent frame rate at the beginning of next gen. You know?
No, I'm not buying 8K until like 2022 probably.
Ambitious.
Yeah.
Do you ever hear somebody say something and you're just like, man, like, I'm glad you said that. That just fits. It was when Kyle said that he has this dad TV.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, that feels right.
Yeah.
That feels like it should be that way. 44 stars, 2 Bloodworth, Florida or California? Question mark.
What?
There is a right answer.
There is a right answer.
I don't know, man. I am coming up on that point though, where I have lived in California more than it's been about that time.
That's your answer right there, baby.
I didn't even hear. What did you say?
He said California. Next question, please.
Yeah, he said California for so many reasons. It's not even funny.
Before he glitched out, I heard him say Florida.
Am I cutting out a lot?
No,
Yeah.
he said he's coming up on having lived in California longer than Florida.
Mm-hmm.
He said he's loved California more ever since he got here.
Yeah.
He said he can't stand the people from Florida.
Yeah. And he likes that California is the 5th largest economy in the world.
Yeah.
The state
So
compared
he
to
really
like other
likes the weather
countries.
here.
Poor Blood. Pick whatever you want, man.
Yeah, he's glad it doesn't rain every 15 minutes.
Next question
I
comes
miss the
through from Liz,
Me too.
who says, Happy June and congrats on all the E3 goodness. Special congrats to Jones, Troop, and Little Milo. Many happy firsts to y'all. My question is, in the past, Jones has expressed the desire to bring more guests onto the podcast and other shows. Now that the studio is reality, and this was demonstrated by a handful of guests you had over E3. I wonder, will you be willing to ask games-adjacent panelists that are underrepresented? I'm thinking here primarily women of color and trans creators.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
Yeah,
Yep.
I think
it's just about relationships, really. It's about finding the persons that fit. Like Damiani used to guys at E3 because they're people that he knew would fit on friend code, and we'd had a long running relationship with Tim and Greg, and have been looking for the opportunity to get them into the studio, and E3 was that opportunity. So there's no science to it. It's just like that moment where that.
Oh, Blood, you cut out.
Yeah, Blood, your internet's like buckling or something.
Okay.
It's like a nexus of like who we know and who we can get. That's the only like limiting factor. And like, we have to like them. They have to not be like controversial or irritating people. This applies to everybody.
It really is super haphazard. Like Max being on Frame Trap. I asked him like a year ago and just like nothing ever happened with it. And then eventually it did. And so I feel like that's how these things kind of work out, where it's like no until it's yes. And it's hard to predict exactly when that's going to be. But yeah, to answer the spirit of your question, I think it would be awesome. I'm super open to it. And yeah, I think it'd be great. The other thing that's really helped, like we just had Roger's Base on It's Easy to Like Anime, and with both him and Gerard the Completionist, it felt like I was just talking to one of you guys, and I love that. I love getting guests on that can offer a different perspective, but feel like, we're just buds. Like there's no artifice there, I guess. That's always really nice. But yeah. I think it's also something that we need to be like consistently mindful of, because it's an easy thing to forget about, where like I think we get so wrapped up in doing our own production stuff and like getting that scheduled that it can be easy to forget like, oh, hey, we should have guests on. So it's something that we need to keep at the forefront of our mind.
Yeah. Trust me, getting guests is hard. Like,
yeah.
Mysterious Monsters, like I still need one for the first shoot we're doing in a couple of days, like next week.
So email Ian Hink if you want to be on Mysterious Monsters.
Our next question comes in from Professor Metal Gear. With the arrival of Brandon and Amanda's son, Milo, and the recent remaster release of Crash Team Racing, it reminded me of my nephew and niece when they were just toddlers and the memories of playing video games with them at that age. My question, do any of the allies have fond memories of playing with younger siblings, relatives, or with children of close friends?
Of Crash or just the games in general?
Just Crash, I think.
Just Crash. Yeah.
No, any fun memories of playing with younger kids?
I mean, this kind of goes back into one of the earlier questions, I think. But we used to, we have friends that they were from Northern California, and so every Thanksgiving, they would get a bunch of, because again, LA is, it's the city where nobody's from pretty much. And so they get a collection of friends and bring us all up road trip for Thanksgiving, and we'd all sleep on the floor, and we'd play video games with their family and have Thanksgiving and go out to go shopping and movies and everything else. And so there's a lot of family game time with kids then.
My girlfriend's nephew is like at that age where he doesn't have that many video games, but he's super stoked about games. And he just got a Switch recently and loves it. But like just before he had a Switch, I had my Switch with me and he was like, can we play? Can we play? Can we play? And he was like so excited. He like knew that I had the Switch and he just wanted to play it so bad. He was just obsessed. And then like he immediately reminded me how short the attention span is of a child.
Yeah.
Because like we would start playing Mario Kart, and for like 5 minutes it was like pure euphoria. And then after that 5 minutes was over, he's like, all right, what's next? Like so we just started playing Mario Kart, and then we would like switch over to Minecraft, and we'd do that for like 10 minutes, and he'd be like, all right, what's next? Like he just got, it was like the highest of the high to total boredom so quickly. And I was just like, wow, I am not used to that. Kids also don't like losing as well. So you gotta play nice. Any other experiences?
Ben, 100% that with my niece and nephew playing Genesis. Sorry, not Genesis, Super Nintendo Classic. Like just the, over the Christmas, it's just like that's their console. That's what they have. They're not very good at any of the games. They hate losing, and they're ready to move on. They're ready to like get up off the couch and move on after like 2 levels of Kirby.
Yeah.
Despite what you just said, like, oh, this is so fun. This is so cool. All right.
Yeah.
Can I watch a show now? It's like, what am I bothering you? Yes. Kirby's boring now.
Huber, Ian, you got any?
Nothing.
Okay.
Huber doesn't like kids.
Well, my niece and nephew now are only like 2, so no games yet.
Next question comes in from Michael. Greetings, allies. Monster Hunter World was my first introduction to the series and is now one of my favorite game franchises. With the Iceborne beta and the full release around the corner, the hype is at peak levels. Yes. One of the many things that made World so great was the continued updates via quest events and collaborations like The Witcher, Horizon, Assassin's Creed, and Final Fantasy XIV. This got me thinking of the future now that the developers have said they will continue the updates of this release, much like they did for World, which was over a year's worth of updates. That's when it hit me. An idea that a few weeks before E3, I would have thought was too outlandish. However, now that we know the release date for Final Fantasy VII, I ask you this question. Could we see Capcom and Square Enix team up for round 2 with a Monster Hunter World Final Fantasy VII crossover? I could see Cloud and Sephiroth as full armor sets like they did for Geralt and Ciri, and each of their weapons be tied easily to a class. Sephiroth sword as a longsword, and the Buster sword as a greatsword. Love and respect.
Count on it.
Count on, dude, when Blood comes out the gate and says count on it, you know you could get behind it.
Totally. Draft your tweets.
I mean, there are so many 15 crossovers. I think at least 5 with all other games. I think there's a huge chance 7 will be crossing over.
If I can get a Buster sword, greatsword, like that's so good. I would almost feel bad asking for anything else in a game Oh man, that'd be sick. What will be the best Final Fantasy VII crossover, and what would be the worst?
I can give you a middle of the road one.
Okay.
Assassin's Creed, because they did a 15 crossover. And
So middle of the road.
Dude, straight up 15. Arden is a meteor and slams.
What?
Yeah, Arden is in Assassin's Creed Origins. He comes, he's there, and then you can get
this.
Yeah, you can get Noctis's sword
And a chocobo.
In Origins.
Yeah,
You can ride a chocobo.
yeah, you ride a chocobo. You can get the chocobo. In
How did
Origins.
I miss this?
Yeah, it was an event.
I did not know that Arden was involved, that he
What
arrives
the
via
hell?
meteor, dude.
Arden reveals himself. I don't think he says anything though. I think he just does his little taunt thing and disappears.
Got it.
Yeah, that feels very accurate to the source material. Okay.
Ben, maybe Modern Warfare weapon skins be the worst.
Or come
Okay.
on, man. If there was a Sephiroth weapon skin in Modern Warfare,
It plays a song every time you're pulling the trigger.
Sephiroth.
That'd be pretty cool.
Fortnite. Always Fortnite. What would it be though? What would a Fortnite
would Fortnite be?
7 crossover be?
Oh man, I don't think I'd be into that.
I mean, Cloud.
I would want the weapons. The
Fortnite.
weapons appear
Yeah.
on the map, dude.
Totally.
Buster Sword.
No, I mean the Omega weapon and the Ruby weapon.
Oh,
If you have to kill Bahamut or someone,
You don't kill Bahamut in 7.
or some summon.
What about killing the weapons, dude? That's the
They're your
sickest thing to do in
friends.
7.
That's true. I forgot about that.
Okay, can I have a summon? So can I summon a
Yeah, you
summon
can have a
against
summon.
it's final 2 and I summon Bahamut and then I
but
just
Kyle,
win.
Yes.
but Kyle, no,
I would want the summons to be you just instantly kill 60 people.
Yeah.
it's
They're that powerful.
every player can get a summon, but anytime anyone summons, it pauses the whole game for everyone, and they all have to watch the cutscene.
So
Dude,
good.
it's like 100,
I would play it, man. I would
40-second
play
cutscenes.
that. Yeah.
What about the other way, Ben? What if you summon Rathalos in FF7?
That's such a good idea too, Blood.
Dude,
Dude, motorcycle chase with Rathalos.
Because
And then you can hop on Rathalos and command it to do different attacks. That would be cool.
we know they're doing DLC with the summons. It's not a crazy idea to think they might go nuts with it, Blood.
Cloud's motorcycle in Fortnite's easy.
Oh man,
That'd
that
be
would
cool.
be pretty sick. But yeah, now that you've put this out into the world, Michael, I'll be very disappointed if it doesn't happen. I hope it does. Joey asks a short but good question: dumbest plot twist in games, in your opinion?
BioShock.
Oh my god.
Out of all of them, that's the
Yeah.
dumbest one.
Legit.
Kyle hates Bioshock.
BioShock.
Yeah, it's really weird, especially because I just listened to Austin Winry and Gary Scheinman talk about that game.
Hey, music, fine.
The-
Hey, praise the music
They
all
were
day
just
long.
talking. I mean, they were talking about the music primarily, but they were talking about the groundbreakingness of that game and its plotline and everything.
Yeah, Kyle, was it spoiled for you ahead of time?
No,
Is that why you hate it?
legit not spoiled ahead of time.
He just hates that it's false agency.
Yeah, legit not shot. Legit, not oh, whoa, cool. It's just you are so annoying, game. You're doing this the worst possible way.
I mean,
Oh,
if
man.
you think of it as just a linear story, in a book, would
It's
that have
still
been
bad.
I don't know, man.
I would.
like-
Who's reading that book?
A
There
lot
are
of
plenty of
people.
books like that. Yeah, a lot of people would have read
Yeah.
that book.
Remember, I was streaming the other day, getting irritated, all worked up again. Remember the Little Sisters? Remember how the game's just you have the choice. You can slaughter this little girl, or you could suck her up for energy, or you could save her. And you're a good person if you save the little girls. It's that is not.
It
Oh.
slightly changes the ending, Kyle.
Yeah.
You can see a bunch of hands at the end. It's just it's so dumb. It's just that whole game is so dumb. To me, it's so 2004, 2008. It's 2008.
It's
Right?
very dated.
Yeah. To me, it's so much of that era. It's so much of just video games are maturing. And if you look at that, if you just look at that game, It's just the worst. It's maturing in all the wrong ways. It makes me so mad again.
I love
But
how
it
you
exhibits
can.
a
But
high
Kyle,
school
you
level of understanding of basic philosophy, Kyle.
Kyle, I feel like you hate every single immersive sim ever made.
No,
You
dude,
just hate
Deus
the
Ex.
genre.
I'm in for Deus Ex, dude.
Even the original, or just Human Revolution?
I mean, I've never played original, but everything you show of me, I love it.
all right.
Even Invisible Wars.
Not Invisible
Not that
Wars.
one,
Can't
not
make
that
the
one.
exception.
Yeah, no.
I love how you can like ask the question at any time, like, "Oh man, I wonder what Kyle's doing," and there's a non-zero chance of it being like, "Oh, getting upset about BioShock."
He's hating on BioShock. Yeah.
Just screaming about BioShock.
I like Beyond Two Souls, but there were definitely a lot of moments, especially at the end, that were just dumb. They were just dumb.
Kyle, will you play the new BioShock?
Yeah, I played Infinite, man.
Chill.
Do you like Infinite more than one?
I like it more than one. I think Infinite as well has a dumb twist.
I mean, Infinite
Yeah.
story is pretty whatever. I mean, video games. I can't think of stories in a game that I'm like, whoa. You know,
As in good or bad?
either they're all just kind of like either getting in the way of playing or not.
Oh, Metal Gear Solid 5's twist ended up sucking. It's the twist we all expected, and then it just turned out to be that, and it makes you play through that entire level again the whole time. And it's like, I get what's happening, and you play through the entire intro again. With credits even. Man, yeah, Metal Gear Solid 5 is a bad twist as well.
Arkham Knight.
I think the twist is less effective than Vulcan.
Is that a bad one in Arkham Knight?
Yeah. The
Good
one in
one.
Arkham Knight, they're
It's like a non-twist.
I
Same
just
thing,
played through
yeah.
it, man. It's like
Yeah.
the way that it presents itself.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh my god, like you're never gonna believe who it is.
Yeah.
And then they hinted it in the most heavy-handed way you could possibly hint at. And you're like, oh, it's just that guy.
Yeah.
And
no,
then,
I knew that.
yes, and then it happens, and there's just like they try to build it up like this huge emotional punch to the gut, and it's just like, I know, and it's not good. It's not good.
It's better just like the second time through knowing 100% that it's that guy.
Sure.
'Cause
Yeah.
then it's like, all right, I don't have to worry about like, what a twist.
What a twist. Maybe the worst twist in a film is in High Tension.
Tell me.
Destroys that movie. I mean, it would ruin the whole movie.
Well,
But
how new is the movie?
it's pretty old. It's like a
Okay. Feed us.
French slasher, I think. I think it's French. It starts off really cool, and then you find out, spoilers for High Tension, that like the main character is the one doing all these murders, but it just doesn't make sense logistically.
Oh, like Heavy Rain.
Yeah. Heavy Rain's a bad one.
Heavy Rain is a bad one.
Heavy Rain is a bad one. But it just makes like you think back and you're like, well, there are like 1,000 plot holes here. Like,
Yeah.
It just immediately destroys the movie.
Kind of to Ian's point about game stories, it's really hard to have a good twist because, and maybe this is why BioShock works for a lot of people, video game players get very precious about their characters, right? We get precious about the progress we put into our character and stuff like that. And so like when you like do anything with those characters, people get really mad and agitated, you know what I mean? And so it's hard to actually like kill the player's character. Like everybody would be furious about all the time they wasted putting into that character. And so it's tough. It's a tough medium to play around with twists in. I think Metal Gear Solid 2 has probably pulled it off the best. People got mad and it's like, I don't care.
Yeah. I was kind of hoping, like, no spoilers for Red Dead 2, but I was hoping going into it when I first started it, I was like kind of hoping that Arthur Morgan would like just get like killed halfway through in the story, like literally like halfway through, and like you would just lose all your stuff.
Yeah.
Money, guns, everything. Like I thought that would be kind of awesome. But
Remember when the O'Driscolls capture him?
yeah, and
Those
then you just
damn
get all your stuff
O'Driscolls.
back immediately.
Yes, that was so dumb.
Remember when you go to an island and then you get all your stuff? The game is garbage.
It's a 10.
My
It's a
favorite twist is Arkham City.
Good twist, dude.
Ending on a good note.
Good twist.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite twist is Shadow of the Colossus, baby.
Yeah.
Best of all time.
Yeah.
Greatest twist of all time.
That's a
Best of all
good.
time.
Best of all
Best of all time.
Yep.
Top 10 twists, number 1. There it is.
That's a pretty good list.
Yeah.
It'd be hard to capture
We could
for
probably
and-
come up with top 10 twists pretty
and
easily.
everyone would get mad at you, but
Top 10 twists, number 9, lemon.
Ew, dude.
what?
That's Huber, you're above that, man.
Lemon twist. I love lemon. Lemon's my
Oh,
favorite flavor.
okay. All right. I get it.
Oh,
Huber
God.
doing puns is a rare treat.
It took
Yeah.
me too long to pick up on that. I was like,
Yeah.
what character is
Well, because
that?
he just doesn't. That's not a Huber joke.
It's not at all.
No,
Got a Huber.
Huber. Who
It's a
are you
rare
all
treat.
of a sudden coming alive?
Our next question comes in from
Guy hates
Cisco.
comedies.
But he's the best at writing them.
Cisco asks, sometimes I get nostalgic and will go back to the first episodes of podcasts and start to re-listen. Jones is Papa Jones now, and going back to the first Frame Trap got me thinking, the boys were dropping shits left and right. I get what he's saying, but the way that it is written implies something very different.
We all had irritable bowels back then.
A few F-bombs, and Huber even calling himself a lore whore.
Wow.
As Ian and Brad say, put the kids to bed. Therein lies the question, what age did you start cussing, and what age is appropriate to start, if at all? I was a preteen in high school. I started cussing in front of my parents. P.S. Kids these days are crazy with language. It makes me sad. P.P.S. Got to an episode where Hubert gushed for Uncharted 4 multiplayer. Last of Us Part 2 multiplayer will be hype as hell. Let's go.
We were not a swearing family. Like my mom was a pastor, and so like we just never swore, like ever. I think I said like "what the hell" one time in front of my parents, you know, and yeah. So the concept of people swearing around their parents is like bonkers to me. But a bunch of my friends do it, you know, and it's like, oh, this is weird. We're just all adults here. What's happening, you know? Yeah, but I mean, like, I definitely swore like a sailor all throughout high school and to this day. Yeah. On videos though, like I don't know, there's no real point all the time. I watched an old opinion yell from GT, and wow, we all swore so much at GT, it's crazy. Like there was one part in a opinion yell where Brandon Jones and Brad were just in the background, like going around the screen, just going, fuck you, fuck you.
Yeah, that's
fuck
really
you."
funny, man.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
I think inspired by DMC maybe, but like, yeah, like we just don't really do that anymore. I don't know. No real reason.
My situation is probably the opposite of Ian. Where like there was nothing that was off limits around me, so I heard it all. Heard every single thing you could think of constantly.
And then you made the choice to stop.
Yeah.
Did
So
you
like
used
we
to
were like,
swear?
what age did I start? Like I don't know. What age did I stop? I don't know.
But you used to swear, Blood?
There were pockets here and there were like, you know, like rebellious teenager, like try to get back at the bullies, and then like everyone's surprised for 2 weeks and then nobody cares, and I'm like, well, this was stupid. So.
That you're describing life. Man, I've never heard Bloodworth swear.
I don't think I have either.
He'll like repost a comment from someone else in Slack. Sometimes that'll contain a swear word, but I don't think it counts.
My favorite Bloodworth profanity by far is what the crap.
What the
Yeah,
crap?
what the
Yep.
crap.
What the crap?
Classic.
So I used to not swear at all. Up until senior year of high school, I had to learn a monologue when I was auditioning for Death of a Salesman that had like some swear words in it, and like I had to level with myself. I had to like blurt the words out. I had to get used to it, and then I like just like, okay, I guess I swear now, and like I just did ever since that monologue. But for real, like
They
I don't
didn't
even
censor
like.
it?
Sorry?
They didn't censor it for high school?
No. And it was just my friends directing the play. So it was like the school just like granted them the play, and then they got to do whatever they wanted to. Really, this was Death of a Salesman with Coldplay music throughout it.
Oh my god!
I'm sure you paid the appropriate licensing fees.
It was so edgy, man. It was such an edgy play. But for real though, like I don't have a problem with kids swearing as long as it's not like to hurt each other. Like I think some swear words are just fun.
Yes.
Some of them like help. I think swear words actually like help you deal with stuff. So like I can't say like, oh, look at these kids swearing younger and younger. As long as they're not like Jones and Brad just screaming it at each other, like, hey, go for it. I like that. Go ahead, Ben.
No, I completely agree with that mentality. I don't have a problem with profanity as long as it's not used to target anybody or to hurt somebody. And yeah, it was something where like I didn't do it at all. And then in middle school, I was hanging out with some friends and they were like, "Oh, just do it, it'll be fine." And then I did it, and it like changed my perspective on it. Where I was like, "Oh, this doesn't matter. Like this isn't. Why am I afraid of the F word? Like, why am I afraid of saying fuck? Like, there's no big deal about it." And yeah, it's been that way ever since.
One time, I remember when I was like, I think I was probably college or I guess I was college, yeah, because my girlfriend's dad was the principal of the elementary school, and I was going to she was like there for whatever reason. And so I was like going to meet her, I think, or something. So I was walking through the elementary school, and then this little kid, it must have been, I don't know, summer school, or I don't know. There was a kid there for some reason. And I was walking through, and this little kid just walked up to me and went, "Fuck you, bitch." For no reason.
Mm-hmm.
He was probably like 7. And I remember at the time I was like, what? And then I was just like, that kid's going to be all right.
Oh. I don't know if that kid's going to be all right.
I don't know if that would be the takeaway I have with that. Yeah.
That kid's going to be a monster. But it was just so weird.
Kyle, I interrupted you. What were you saying before?
Oh, it is interesting, the initial observation that like the initial podcasts were like swearing a lot more. I was wondering if like I think at one point we had like a Slack message, or maybe it was in a meeting, early Easy Allies, where it's like, hey, are we like, we got to pick one path. Are we like doing all this, or are we doing all this? And I can't remember, right? And I think like maybe one night we went overboard or something, and we had a discussion, and then maybe we like overcorrected to where we are now, where we're just like, we're pretty squeaky clean. We'll let the F-bombs fly when we got to. But yeah, it is interesting to think about how different we are
I do see people like on Twitter and stuff every once in a while. I'll be like, hey, watch them. It's okay to let your kids watch them or whatever, because they're mostly clean. And
we're not, though, man.
We'll swear from time to time, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but they'll acknowledge that. But,
sure.
Yeah, but it's not like constant.
The thing for me, Kyle, is I have no problem with swearing, but when I hear a message like that, like, oh, hey, I'm and this happens, I'm watching you guys on the TV with my children. It's like, okay, well, like I don't need to, like I don't.
Right.
This isn't something that I feel like compromises what I'm saying or who I am. Like,
for sure, yeah.
If it allows more people to enjoy it, then so be it. Like, it's not that big of a deal to me. I don't think about it.
I used to swear way more, but then I had a roommate in college that didn't swear, like Bloodworth, and instead he said frick.
Mm-hmm.
And he would always just be like, what the frick? And then because I lived with him for a few years and he's like one of my best friends, I started picking that up. So I say like frick a lot.
Is it Grumbar?
Huber, I hear you say the other F word a lot more than frick.
Yeah, I never
do both. I do both.
Okay. All right.
What the frick?
Okay. Sometimes Huber will just blurt the F word for the heck of it.
Just for the shock value.
That's true.
Just
That's
blurt it out.
very true.
That's a good shock.
Like just yelling it.
I love like busting into a room with you guys and just like saying something shocking.
He does that.
Our next question comes in from Joe, What's the top place you haven't traveled to yet but want to, and why? There's a lot, man.
Yeah, all of them.
Really want to go to New Zealand.
Yeah.
That might be my top.
Scotland. A friend of mine and I have been planning to go to Scotland for a few years, and now I think I'm finally going to do it this spring.
That's a cool pick.
Spain seems cool. I've been around, but yeah, I haven't hit like mainland Asia either. So that'd be cool. Haven't been to Africa or Australia or New Zealand. Yeah,
I go to New York.
What?
I just want to go to New York. Never been.
Dude, New York.
Oh yeah.
Amazing. I've only been to New York twice for not that long, and I really like New York a lot. Yeah.
It's a hell of a town.
Ireland is the go-to place for us.
Nice. That's a good pick.
I'm not hearing a lot of whys though. Like, why is Ireland a go-to place, Blood?
I don't know. It's a mix of the landscape and the castles and things, and just I don't know. It's a pretty place to be on a vacation.
Castles, baby.
I think it's kind of a hard thing to articulate, Kyle, where like you'll just see a place and it's just like, I just want to be in that. That looks beautiful. I want to be there. It's kind of hard to come up with reasons, I think, sometimes.
I want to stay in like an ice hotel. I just want to be in a place where it's very cold and people just embrace the chill.
Was that World Is Not Enough or Die Another Day?
Die Another Day.
Die Another Day, dude.
Wait, do ice hotels really exist?
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
You can go to like stay in little yurts or igloos and
Okay, Kyle, that's a good pick, man.
Kyle, they made an ice palace in Minneapolis this year.
Cool.
For like kids to, it's like a playground made out of ice.
Sorry, Scandinavia. I'm going to Minneapolis.
Minneapolis is pretty dope.
I know they have bars and stuff from time to time too, right?
Minneapolis has a lot of bars, yeah.
But I mean, ice, like the whole place is made out of ice.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
You know the Steamboat Willie world in Kingdom Hearts 2?
Oh, yeah, baby.
That's where I want to go.
Nice.
Dream vacation.
There's nothing better than that in 3.
No. I like the world in 3 a lot, but Steamboat Willie is like that, and I really like Tron in Kingdom Hearts 2 as well.
Steamboat Willie and Mickey Mania also top tier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude.
Our next question comes in from Dave. He says, good afternoon. Available allies. Which of the following abilities would you prefer to have? Airbender, Firebender, Waterbender, or Earthbender? I'm not an Avatar guy, so I can't answer this at all.
Can I pick Bloodbender? Is that poor form?
That's an advanced form of Waterbender, Kyle.
Right here.
Okay, then
that's
Oh boy. See, that is a blood joke. That is in character.
That's a blood joke.
I'm going to say Earthbender. I haven't really watched Avatar, but I love in Naruto when people do like Earth Jutsu, when they like slam their hands down on the ground and like stuff starts flying out of the ground, dude.
I think you would be an Earthbender anyway.
Cool.
Probably. I think I'd go air or water. No, water's too freaky, but bloodbending seems fun. Firebending with the lightning is pretty cool. I can't remember what the advanced form of like airbending is.
Fire includes lightning?
Yeah,
that ain't right.
It's like superheated plasma, or like.
Okay.
If you get good enough at heat, you can make heat lightning. Fire, you get heat lightning.
Not Jack in the YouTube chat says they can't answer until Damiani, the Easy A Avatar guy.
True, that's a good point.
This comment started with available allies too. It's like,
I love that.
I think I'd go with air probably.
Are all bloodbenders bad guys?
No.
Okay.
I think what's her name learns it. It's like forbidden.
Yeah, like that's one episode I saw. It's just like, oh, it's a bloodbender. No.
Metal bending. Earth bending advances to metal bending.
Are bloodbenders pretty edgy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
If I'm a part of that world, I'm using my powers for pain, you know?
What?
If I'm a part of Avatar world, I'm using, like, I want to be able to fight, you know?
But no. Being able to fight is a very different answer than I'm using my powers for pain.
Yeah, what a
Very different answers.
I'm in this world ruled by crazy elemental martial arts. Like it's like kill or be killed there. Like I need to be a threat, and so bloodbending is my only way out.
What if you use airbending to have like a part of a PC repair business where you just clean out all the dust?
You'll be taken advantage of, Blood. In the world of Avatar.
Taken advantage of?
Yes.
I'll be charging people for that. Making bank over here cleaning PCs.
Kyle, with airbending, you can cause people to asphyxiate if you're good enough.
Oh, you like suck the lungs out of their body? So the
air out of their lungs, yeah.
That is so cool.
And apparently you can spiritually project. Wow. Airbender seems dope. That's what I would do. I love Avatar.
Our next question comes in from Asbo. He says, "Good afternoon, allies. Congratulations on an excellent E3. To celebrate, I upped my pledge a bit, which is why I now find myself in the strange new world of Q&A submissions." Well, thank you.
Hey,
Thank you.
Welcome.
I think you have all earned a break, so I've decided to send you all on a week's vacation to your favorite video game worlds. All I ask in return is that you let me know where you'll be going and what you'll be doing when you get there. You'll have roughly the same level of skill in each game. Protagonists don't worry about dying in the first rat you run into. So he's specifically sending us to a place. This month's destination is Hyrule, as depicted in The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. So where are we going in Breath of the Wild?
Terrytown.
Oh, so we're okay.
yeah.
I thought we were picking a game, and then we suddenly got Breath of the Wild. Okay.
He is sending us to a video game. We got to say where we're going and what we're doing.
Terrytown would be dope.
Build things at Terrytown.
I am hanging out with the Gorons. That might be it. It might just be me and the Gorons forever.
Yeah, the bird creatures and the Zora, they have nice towns, but I kind of don't like their cultures.
Yeah.
Everyone's pretty stuck up.
But you know who's not stuck up? The Gorons.
Yeah, exactly. Gorons is a really good pick, Ben.
The Gerudo would be chill.
There's it's more of a minor village. It's a fishing village. It's way down on the south end of the map by the jungle.
By the beach?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good pick, Blood. In fact, I'm going to be Blood's neighbor. I'm moving there too.
That place
just don't get over to that island too easy. That place is crazy.
Damn it, you guys. We did it again. We answered about the Zelda guy.
Oh.
He
probably knows all the best places on the map.
Man, we did it again.
Yeah. But that beach village is probably the right answer because it doesn't factor into the plot, really. So it's kind of safe.
And we're just vacationing.
Yeah.
It's
good.
If you could get me into the Gerudo town, if we can make a convincing costume, I think it'd be a really cool place to hang out.
I'd be going there with you, Kyle.
That culture I like. I like their culture a lot there.
Yeah.
And they take classes and everything. Yeah, that about love. They learn about love in there. Man, that sounds the best.
But yeah, Ian has a good point. It's the fishing village is the one place where you don't have a divine beast crisis.
Yeah.
Well,
we're just hanging out.
He didn't say when we would be in there, so it'd be after you deal with Calamity Ganon.
Oh yeah.
I guess Hakno's pretty chill too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hakno might be right because you can get around.
Great. Yeah.
Oh, that game is so good.
Our next question comes in from Robert. Hello, all. I love the content you guys create. Boxpeak and Mysterious Monsters being among my favorites. What is your favorite content to work on? And other than Boxpeak, which Easy Allies content do you enjoy watching the most?
I don't think anyone would have said Boxpeak.
That's amazing.
Other than Boxpeak, what do we enjoy watching? Oh. I mean, Busted Trifecta.
Yeah, Busted Trifecta, dude.
Busted Trifecta is very good.
I am anxiously awaiting the end of Busted Trifecta myself. I'm in the dang thing and I don't really understand what's happening.
Right.
I don't watch a ton of other Easy Allies content just because, like,
You're in it.
yeah, I'm in it, and I think you need to separate a little bit.
Yeah.
It's nothing against
Ouch, Ben.
wonderful,
Ouch.
wonderful, talented people, but every once in a while, I do enjoy just peeking in on Kyle's streams just because they're so weird and they're just so different, like weird in a good way. I mean,
no,
as a point of praise, he just like does different things that we wouldn't do, and I like that a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I guess Mysterious Monsters is a current hotness, but it's easy go to because it's pretty new.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely fun to watch, though.
Thanks,
Fun
Blood.
to play.
Yeah.
It is very fun to play.
Fun to make.
So fun.
A lot of work.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what I have the most fun doing.
Right. Because a lot of the stuff that's like, I don't know, like value doing, or like, I don't know if it's necessarily fun. Like working on a retrospective is not fun. It's months of hard work, but it's cool to see it come together.
This is not really a project or an official work, but I love bringing like things like Dong Dong Never Die and Takeshi's Challenge to you guys.
Yeah, those are fun.
Like those, just stuff that makes us laugh. Those are some of my favorite moments.
I think right now, legitimately, my favorite thing to shoot is Community Showcase. I think I dig that big time.
Cool.
Just chilling out with Jones, making dirty jokes while people show us their art. It's just fun.
I gotta watch the Jones and Kyle Community Showcase.
Dirty jokes.
Dirty jokes. What now?
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, I think that might be like my favorite thing to like shoot. I just like a chilled out streams, definitely.
Yeah.
I like just being a hang for an amount of time. I like those.
Streaming with like Don is always really chill. Yeah.
I like that moment when the last big E3 appointment is booked. Everything else from there is gravy.
I can imagine. Our next question comes in from Not Jack, who says, I think this is the first time I remembered to edit my placeholder for at least 6 months. Hey, nice job, Not Jack. Looking forward to 2020 E3. Oh, man. What is your take on Sony and Microsoft using trailers for games 3+ years out from release as tools to sell their new console? I don't think a lot of people cared in the early years of this gen, but it can also be seen as an unethical move once you get past the immediate hype of a crazy new game announcement. Please use the monolith sub for an open mic night. Justice for Damiani. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I thought this was kind of a placeholder E3. So I'm like not mad about it, like it's kind of a bummer. A lot of the trailers were cinematics and cutscenes and whatnot, but when next gen is like right around the corner, I get it. It's kind of like, all right, let's just hold off for a bit, and then like I'm expecting next E3 to just be so much bigger.
I do think it's kind of a lose-lose situation because the way that the conversation is framed is we want big megaton announcements at E3 that are just like so crazy and out of left field.
Mm-hmm.
And then the conversation is just like, who won E3? Was E3 exciting this year? All my hopes and dreams came alive. Like when that's the attitude, like that is going to generate them showing stuff that's way far off. So unless the nature of the conversation is going to happen, they're going to do that because it's what gets people the most excited. And so
what's weird about this question to me is Sony and Microsoft in particular using trailers to show stuff for next gen. Like, other than Halo Infinite, is there anything that fits that description? I mean, Bethesda showed a lot of stuff without anything to back it up, but
I think the writer is saying next year. So looking at 2020, if they show trailers for 3.5 out.
What's the next Deep Down?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, Deep Down is clearly a project that just didn't come together the way that whatever they were envisioning. But.
Right.
So I think that this year we saw a lot of trailers, and I think there was blowback. I think there was like, hey, we want to see gameplay. I expect actually a swing back next E3. I bet we'll see more gameplay And obviously it'll be ready, right? So Halo Infinite will be a gameplay blowout. And I know I said the same about Gears this year, so like maybe they could still F it up, but like I truly believe there'll be a swing back next year. And I think the games that end up being 3.5 years out, they just don't know at the time. I think, you know, probably the most dishonest thing was like the CG trailers for like Crackdown and Phantom Dust in particular, before even the game was truly in development and ended up getting canceled with like, that was probably like one of the most dishonest CG trailers of all time, just made by a completely different studio, not even in contact with the people making a game. So like, I think we're past that. And so I don't think you have to worry about that too much, but I would say count on it, and we won't know at the time which game is 3.5 years out. And that's just the nature of developing games.
It can be kind of hard to predict like what's going to be coming from where, because I do feel like over the course of this generation, like Microsoft press conferences changed dramatically. Sony press conferences changed dramatically. But then there are other companies where I'm like, it's just always going to, or at least the way I feel right now is it's just always going to be this way, huh? Like Bethesda's just always going to be like that. There are always going to be those people just screaming. They're always just going to have that tone about them. EA feels the similar way, where it's like, man, it's always going to be like this.
I feel like Nintendo will always show like a title of a game and be like, all right, 3 years from now.
Which is funny because they say they don't do that, and then they just totally do.
Yeah.
You don't hear it anymore.
It's so true.
You'll turn it on like 3 different tweets. It's like, we don't announce games way ahead of time. It's like, you do though. You do. You do that. You're doing that right now. We're a little different here. It's like, you're not.
We're different here.
Ugh.
Yeah, when's the next day to play, dude? What's the deal?
Let's say August, dude.
Itching.
August is a good prediction, I think.
Yeah, Gamescom
Yeah.
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 and Tokyo Game Show around then too. Is that September now? I think.
September, yeah. Our next question comes in from Ganzak009. Hey, allies. Some years ago, EA put their money on some creative new IPs to diversify: Mirror's Edge, Army of Two, Dead Space, and so on. Some of these games turned out great, or at least interesting. In a time where EA is looked down upon in the industry, would a new line of creative risk benefit them, and what type of games would you like to see them do or bring back dormant franchises?
Anthem.
Blood, why, dude?
They just did it. It didn't turn out.
True, it is a new IP. To their credit, a whole new big IP that they put a lot of support behind. So I mean, like, that's the EA originals at this point, right? Like, they don't, I think, ever want to take that kind of risk again. So that's why we have like Hazelight Studios and whoever's making Sea of Solitude. When you're at EA's level, when you're at Activision's level, it's like you can't take the chances, and it's just such a bummer.
Yeah, I don't think
it's true. I think Ubisoft does a really great job of managing stuff they know is going to make money and taking creative risks, as does Nintendo and Sony. Like, you can do it. It's just EA has, I don't know, there's something in their brains that keeps them from being able to do that and do it successfully.
Do you know what's in their brain, Blood? FIFA money is in their brain.
Yeah. It legitimately is, though. Like, Ben's not exaggerating. It totally is.
It's a strong poison.
It's what they look at when they're making a value proposition for their the next game. It's like, can it make FIFA money? No. Then, like, why are we doing this?
I mean, the easy answer, but it's super true, is Dead Space was done so dirty, man. And, like...
Where's the remaster? What the hell?
That's the other thing. EA not doing remasters of pretty much anything other than Burnout Paradise randomly.
It must have not. I bet the Burnout didn't do well, because they said, like, if this does well, we'll do more, and it just, they haven't said a peep since.
It's upsetting.
Like, Mass Effect Remastered would do so well. It would do so well, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of a weird test case, right? Like, oh, we're going to remaster this game that we've, basically said before, we're never going to make any more Burnout again because it doesn't sell as good as Need for Speed. Like, why? Like, that's your test case? Something that you already thought was a niche market?
Yeah. It's crazy, man. Yeah, EA has so many franchises and they use 3 of them.
Do you think anything will change with EA in the next generation, or will it just basically be this path that they've set out for themselves?
Ben, I think something's going to change.
Do you have any inkling of what that could be?
There's a young 20-something who has ideas, who is climbing the ladder as we speak. This person will create the next Pokemon, man. The next game at EA. And EA is going to change. Their logo is going to be pink and orange.
Mm-hmm. This is an optimism I was not expecting.
Yeah, they're going to shift, dude. I honestly can't see it sustaining itself as it is now. They need more IP. You know what I mean? They need something more.
Their logo changes to pink and orange, and their slogan is "We're different now."
We're different now. EA Sports. We're different.
We're different now.
Next question comes in from DRD 7 of 14. Afternoon Allies. Game Informer had a 24 things about Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order article. Number 5 is what got me, along with many others. Brief summary: there won't be human dismemberment because that wouldn't be true to Star Wars. This quote is attributed to Asmussen. Now, there's definitely the ridiculousness of how dismemberment has long been an element of Star Wars in almost every single movie, Clone Wars, and several video games. Well, it's more than likely this decision comes in as a change from Disney and Lucasfilm's games, parentheses, LucasArts. Who does a blind response like this help? If they said there's no dismemberment because they chose not to, Disney doesn't want that level of violence with Star Wars, or ultimately didn't feel right with the character and story they wanted to tell. Each of those reasons would have been acceptable. Instead, they chose to pass the buck. That wouldn't be true to Star Wars. It's probably the worst response you could give. So, Allies, just curious on your thoughts on when it comes to messaging Star Wars and Disney.
This is a fantastic question. I really like it because, even just watching Stig doing the E3 interviews, it felt like a whole other part of his job as a video game director is massaging interviews to not get in trouble. It's he should not have to do this if he's going to have these answers. You know?
I feel like my read on it at least was that he really did not like being interviewed. When I have watched that man interact with the press, I just get the sense that he doesn't like it at all.
And it bums me out because a great game director shouldn't have to deal with that stuff. You don't have to also be really good with press to do your job. But the way that you say it's the worst answer is I actually really agree with. Whether he hates doing interviews or not, it's kind of insulting to people who like Star Wars, right? It's saying that you don't get Star Wars. It's not about dismemberment, right? It's almost just gaslighting Star Wars fans in the worst way. And so, yeah, I'm really not into that kind of phrasing. But I think it is because of Disney. It's a huge corporation that you have to keep happy, and they become unhappy. There's been meetings already where they've been unhappy. We don't know what for, what with, but he's been beaten down to the point where he isn't right now. And I think that's the part that you picked up on. It's Disney. It's Disney's fault. I
guess, how do you deal with that though? Where I respect what DRD is saying here, where he's hey, just be honest with us. And it's well, what if he can't say that? What if he can't say, yeah, it's Disney's fault? What do you do?
I was actually thinking about that. I thought about how I would interview Stig at E3, and I would just honestly at a certain point stop asking direct questions about the game. When he won't tell you what color the lightsabers can become, it's clear you're not going to make any headway on anything. Right. And so I'd ask him more questions about him. You know what I mean? His own inspirations, what he feels like getting a big gig after God of War. You know what I mean? And just make it personal. Because you're not getting game details. He's made that clear.
Should have blamed it on the story.
What do you mean?
I can't imagine Cal going around chopping people's heads off.
I can, man.
He just seems like an efficient it's business, So when you think about it, force pulling someone and just stabbing them in the chest is a lot more efficient than cut this arm off, cut this arm off, cut the leg off, cut the head off.
Well, cutting an arm off, you're merciful. You let that guy live.
Right.
Yeah, but
also it just looks really bad. The two orange lines through a torso just looks stupid.
It does, man.
It would also kind of look stupid though, just to have limbs flying all over the place the whole time you're playing.
I mean,
it would be so good. What do you mean?
Yeah,
Like,
I think I'm with Boston on this one.
Like, give me like the sequel or something, or like another spin-off that's like rated M.
But I think that's
and you're chopping heads off.
Huber, we got to raise $20 billion to buy it back from Disney first.
Yeah.
That we like our top goal on Patreon is $20 billion. And just have this huge jump. It's like buy Star Wars from Disney
so we can make M-rated games.
Yeah. I mean, it being T is like the easy response he could have said.
Yeah.
I think though that goes back to what we were talking about earlier about video games and adaptation. Where it's like, oh, like in a video game we expect to have lots of lightsaber combat and stuff, whereas like in the movie, like they're only going to show you somebody getting cut in half or something, like if it makes sense, if it's an important moment to like show you, like showing you that like, hey, the lightsaber's a big deal and it's dangerous or whatever, or there's a climactic battle. And yeah, I just think like just having that, I still think that like having limbs flying all over the place constantly while you're playing a game would be just silly. You'd lose all the impact.
But that's the power of a lightsaber, man.
Like
that's the power they wield.
Jedi Outcast had the best middle ground. It was
How did it work?
It was rated T for teen, and once in a while, a hand would come off. Once in a while, rarely. Every now and then, no blood or anything. Because if you remove blood too, so much easier to get a T rating as opposed to.
And that's canon. The lightsaber cauterizes the wound as it slices your arm off.
I think if I'm remembering this correctly, there was a code that you could type in the command to like up the limb frequency of like coming off.
Boost it.
That's like old day PC stuff, man. I love that.
But yeah, I is the like, have we seen blood? Is there even blood in Fallen Order? No,
I haven't seen any blood.
No, it's a baby game.
Yeah, I mean, it could be. From what we've seen, it could be like rated E.
I'm putting the codes in, dude.
The blood code for sure.
Our next question comes in from Richard. It says, hello, allies, back with another survival horror question. Hope you're all well. With the presence of Shinji Mikami at E3, this time I have a design question. For every ally present, please at least one design element that you would add to your own survival horror game. To give some examples, would you add stealth or emphasize fight or flight? Is this level design a locked location like the Spencer Mansion, or more open areas like RE4's Village? Are you adding enemies that can revive in a stronger state? And on top of that, a corpse destroying mechanic like Remake or The Evil Within? Is the word paranormal or more scientific? Not looking for a consensus. If allies would have different preferences, please vocalize them.
The Evil Within 2 is my favorite type of video game of all time. I love that you can stealth your way through sections. I love that you can go guns blazing. I love that there's frequent boss fights that change how you play. I love that there's linear parts and open world parts. Everything about the Evil Within 2's design is my absolute favorite. If I were to make a game, I would just take that as a blueprint and go from there.
The first thing that came to my mind is Pyramid Head standing at the end of the hallway in Silent Hill 2. Like that kind of moment where something's just like far off and just standing there and freaky. But then like, I don't love the like big unkillable guy constantly chasing you forever mechanic. But I think it would be kind of cool if there was like the big bad, like a Pyramid Head figure or something, or a Nemesis or whatever, Mr. X, who wasn't trying to chase you down, but was just trying to mess with you. Like a psychological like Nemesis that was like going around and just trying to like freak you out the most. You know what I mean? Like a ghost or something, whatever. That could be interesting. It'd be hard to pull off, but I think it could be interesting.
Ian, dude, I bet Death Stranding will have something like that.
For sure. There's going to be some kind of like, that's Mads, dude.
Yeah.
I'm glad Richard mentioned it, because I love it in Remake and The Evil Within. I love the corpse destroying stuff.
Yes.
I don't know why more survival horror games don't have it. I love that tension of like, do I have what I need to be able to eliminate all these bodies? Are they going to come back? Just that when you have to be so methodical about not just putting the thing down, but making sure that it is gone forever, I don't know. It creates its own vibe, and every enemy feels a little bit more significant. And so I think that is something that I would try to add if I could, just because I love it so much.
Dude, getting those headshots on zombies so they can't turn into crimson heads feels so good.
Yes, just the way that it changes your interaction with enemies, it's awesome.
So you know I hate survival horror, so I would just like make a game that I hate. And so you would have to take care of your child.
Okay.
Who's like, yes. You have a 1-year-old baby who sometimes will just scream crying. And so like you have to take care of this baby throughout the entire game. So it's like Yoshi's Island, but a horror game.
And there's a podcast mode where you can like just turn on a podcast in game, so you don't have any game sound. Yeah.
I'm definitely a big fan of psychological mechanics, insanity meter, and eternal darkness and stuff like that. So
Yes.
it would be cool to have some element of that, particularly like if there was some form of enemy that would like cause it. I don't know if like you get a bite or if there's something in the environment and the environment just shifts and you've got to try to figure out like what thing in that environment is actually the enemy hiding itself, cloaking itself somehow.
Dude, Bloodworth, there's an insanity mechanic or like a madness mechanic in the sinking city, but all it does is like make your screen like drunk.
Oh,
Yeah,
That's
I
it.
hate that.
And when you're just near enemies, like a meter rises, you're like madness meter, and the screen is just like, whoa, you're going crazy.
And that voice comes on, like,
Yeah.
whoa. Blood, the insanity mechanic is like the thing a lot of people talk about with Eternal Darkness, rightfully so. But something else that Eternal Darkness does that just maybe not even just survival horror games, but I wish more games would explore, is like every chapter taking place with a different character in a different time period. And so not only is the environment completely changed, but the tools that you have against the monster are very, very, very different. And I love that about Eternal Darkness, how just sharply different a chapter could feel from the last one that you played.
Yeah, when you get to like one of those slow guys after like having a like very very agile sword user or something.
Yeah.
One of the things that Eternal Darkness does that like Doki Doki Literature Club and stuff does also that I like in horror games is like meta stuff where it's like making you think it's deleting your save or like telling you can always go back and reload and then actually deleting your save. Like stuff like that is just like bonkzilla. Love it.
What if there's a 2019 sanity effect where it brought up the Crash Team Racing 48-page user agreement? And you try to get through the user agreement and then it just comes back and then it just comes back again.
The scrolling just keeps getting messed up.
that's very modern, Blood. It's a good idea, dude. That's what true horror is about, is finding the modern horrors.
What if you have a game where like you don't give it your phone number or your email, but you just start getting messages from someone that you don't know? And it just
you start the game and there's like a checkbox like connect to Facebook.
Right.
And all this weird stuff.
There are
showing
games
you
that have
how
done
much
that.
data they really have on you.
Oh man, that'd be too much.
There are games that have done that.
That have messaged you?
That
Like
yeah,
that?
you kind of like give it your information, but like it would call you.
Yeah,
or,
was it the Majestic or something back in the day?
There's
Around
some
2000,
weird like
2001?
mystery one, but I remember one thing that you would tie it to Facebook and it would pull pictures from like your friends and family and put it in the game. I don't remember what it was, but
Are we ready for our last? This isn't a question, but are we ready for our last comment of the Q&A?
Yeah.
This is from MGS Junkie. Hello, allies. This is a list of where I feel everyone's Hogwarts house should be. Let me know if you agree.
Oh, but wait, our Harry Potter guy's not here.
So we'll go through these one by one and say if we agree, disagree. Brandon Slytherin, do we agree?
Yeah.
No. Brandon knows his house, doesn't he? Isn't he like Hufflepuff?
No, he's Ravenclaw, I think, or Gryffindor.
Oh, yeah. I think he's a proud Ravenclaw.
He's probably Gryffindor. But he's a Slytherin.
He's a Slytherin.
We're not gonna mess about this.
Wait,
Brad?
Slytherin is just like bad creeps, right? You're a bad creep
No,
if you're
you're
in
just
Slytherin.
ambitious.
Yeah, ambitious.
Oh, okay.
There are good Slytherin. They're just not featured in any of the narratives.
Okay.
Brad Gryffindor is what we have listed here.
Yeah.
All right. Ben Hufflepuff is what we have listed here.
Swap. Brad's Hufflepuff. Brad is a secret Hufflepuff.
Okay, so
Secret Ravenclaw.
people have put me in Hufflepuff before. I don't even know what the hell Hufflepuffs do. What do Hufflepuffs do?
Fantastic Beasts. Newt Scamander is a Hufflepuff.
What does that mean?
They're like
They're
lovable
loyal
dupes, right? Is that
loyal?
Okay.
loyal? Oh,
They
okay.
value hard work, patience, loyalty, and fair play.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean that's kind of Ben-like.
Okay.
Yeah, Brad's not a Hufflepuff. He's more of a Gryffindor, I think.
We have Ian listed down as Ravenclaw.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like 100%.
Just because of the word Raven and Claw, like let Ian in.
Yeah,
We have both
they're all
Hubert,
edgy losers in Ravenclaw. Yeah.
we have both Hubert and Don as Hufflepuff.
Thank you. Perfect.
Okay.
Interesting.
Damiani is a Slytherin.
Yeah.
We have Kyle as a Ravenclaw. I don't know what Ravenclaw do either.
Slytherin.
I think Kyle's a Slytherin. Actually, Kyle didn't get into Hogwarts.
Hey, Ian, what does a
Hey.
Ravenclaw do?
They're smart.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I'm Slytherin.
Yeah, you are.
And then it has Blood as Slytherin as well.
Whoa, Blood! Welcome to Slytherin. I always knew.
I don't know.
I was look at
You
this
tell
guy.
me.
Oh my god, dude.
Always knew it.
I always knew, dude.
Whenever
Blood,
it shows up
welcome.
your like defense against a dark arts class.
Yes.
Slytherin. Always knew.
I have the official like summaries if you want to hear them.
All right.
Slytherin produces more than its share of dark wizards, but also turns out leaders who are proud, ambitious, and cunning. Merlin is one particularly famous Slytherin.
Oh,
No,
but
no.
they're like
Okay.
they're defined by the exception. Like it's very clear Slytherin is bad guys.
I mean, like, if you're a bad guy, you're
Yeah.
probably, like,
Yeah,
all Dalmatians are dogs, but not all dogs are Dalmatians,
Yeah.
Ravenclaws prize wit, learning, and wisdom. It's an ethos etched into its founder, Rowena Ravenclaw's diadem. Wit beyond measure is man's greatest treasure. So they're like nerds. Snarky nerds, basically.
Sure.
So that, Hufflepuffs value hard work, patience, loyalty, and fair play. Newt Scamander is their famous one.
I gotta learn about Newt Scamander, I guess.
Just watch
Eddie
the first
Redmayne, dude.
Fantastic Beasts.
Our leader. I
And
haven't
then,
seen Fantastic Beasts, so.
Gryffindor, with a lion as its crest and Professor McGonagall at its head, Gryffindor is the house which most values the virtues of courage, bravery, and determination.
Yeah, I don't think that's Brad. And Brad was our only Gryffindor.
Brad's a Slytherin.
Sounds like I'm either Ravenclaw or Hufflepuff.
Yeah, I just think that
I
like
think Blood
nobody
is
in Easy
Hufflepuff.
Allies got into Gryffindor.
No.
We were all rejected.
Yeah.
I don't
We're-
want to be Gryffindor.
Yeah.
Small fries of the gaming community and the wizarding world.
Yeah, like Kotaku can be Gryffindor, have
Right.
it, but like
Yeah.
we're just not Gryffindors.
And they like all walk by us with their Gryffindor scarves. And we're just
And
like,
like push us into the mud.
Hufflepuff here.
And they show us their Nintendo games that they got 6 months early.
We get an email for a preview event, and then we get an immediate response being like, "Oh, wait, sorry, that was only for the Gryffindors. Didn't mean to send."
Griffs only. And then they push us out the door.
Blood working so hard to establish this Nintendo contact has no comment right now. It's just like, all right.
Well, if we had Gryffindor, we
Yeah, Nintendo's like, are you Gryffindor? No?
All right. Thank you to everybody who submitted a question. I am sorry if we didn't get to yours today, but we'll be here back next month. There will be a post letting you know when the submissions post is happening, and then a couple days later, there will be the submission post itself. We'll do this the last Saturday of the month. So yeah, look forward to that. Thank you to all the allies who joined me today, and we'll see you guys soon. Bye.